Hello and welcome to World in 5. A 22-year-old author, Tinashe Ngirandi, presented a copy of his book titled Building Zimbabwe Together to the President in Harare. The book focuses on developmental issues from a youth perspective. Ngirandi, who is a former member of parliament, called on young people to participate in the country's development.
We all know the Zimbabwe that we want to see, and our president, His Excellency Dr. Zim Leader, has opened the door for us to contribute to national development. If you see his policies from the Education 5.0, the Vision 2030, the National Development Strategy 1, is always make sure that it's youth-centric and it calls for young people to come on board and with different innovative ideas to contribute towards the building of our own country.
Information Minister Jenfan Muswere has revealed that government, through the Mutapa Investment Fund, is working on a number to navigate the country's power challenges. Currently, Zimbabwe has a deficit of around 400 megawatts and imports are ranging between 2 and 500 megawatts. This is against the country demand of 1,800 megawatts. Minister Muswere spoke on the interventions during yesterday's post-cabinet media briefing.
This will result in a more simplified and efficient governance and management structure. Supply-side interventions include the rehabilitation of Wange units 1 to 6 under a build, operate and transfer agreement, which is set to commence this year. The Mutapa Investment Fund is also putting in place measures to cater for the foreign currency requirements for independent power producers to address the low uptake of net metering from solar generated electricity. ZESA has been specifically directed to promote the facility and streamline the pertinent procedures and requirements in order to increase uptake. The loss of electricity during transmission is being attended to through the establishment of a joint venture between ZENT and QLV for the manufacture of cables and in dealing with theft and corruption.
During Tuesday's post-cabinet media briefing, President Mnangagwa declared the Mbare market fire incident a state of disaster to pave way for mobilization of resources to help the affected traders. Local Government Minister Daniel Garwe said reconstruction of the Mbare market along with the Glenview Area 8 will commence in the next fortnight.
The fire that gutted Mbare Traders Market, as sad as it is, has created a great opportunity for Zimbabwe, for the government in particular, to design and build sustainable infrastructure that will ensure orderliness in terms of conducting business, orderliness where the traders will be able to pay their rates to local authorities, they will be able to pay their taxes, there will be governable environment in the
Zimbabwe has been actively working on creating policies that promote financial inclusion for people with disabilities, recognizing their right to equal access to economic opportunities.
History of financial markets. Financial markets have been around for many centuries, and they keep changing as the global economy changes.
Zimbabwe was one of the first countries to ratify the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities in 2013. The country became part of a group with legislation that specifically caters for people with disabilities. Continuous efforts to reduce barriers that prevent individuals with disabilities from participating fully in the financial sector is on cards. Recently, the Securities and Exchange Commission of Zimbabwe launched a Braille version of Investment 101, a capital market handbook.
Financial inclusion has been targeted at groups like women, youths, and perhaps geographical constituencies like your rural constituencies, but without a specific focus on our citizens with various forms of disabilities.
South Africa's poultry industry has shown remarkable resilience despite facing up the challenges brought by the highly pathogenic avian influenza. The flu outbreak has forced farmers to slaughter millions of birds, but many consumers are still concerned about the rising costs. Poultry production in the country is being restored and supply chains are slowly coming back online after a devastating bird flu outbreak ripped through the country last year. Though the situation is improving, supply chains in the poultry sector haven't been fully restored yet, as farmers still struggle with the high input costs, which are hampering efforts to meet consumer demand.
Although we've lost 30% of our flocks, we still didn't have a shortage of chicken meat during the avian influenza period. And what we did as an industry, and it wasn't a combined effort, it was individual companies taking action. They imported 285 million hatching eggs that they used, hatched in our hatcheries, placed the birds on our broiler farms, and then slaughtered these birds to keep jobs in the industry.
The price of eggs and chicken have gone up significantly, but they haven't come down again. So, it affects us at the end of the day in a big way. We've got a little baby at home, and it's a huge effect because it not only affects the chicken and the daily cost of living, but you have to increase your budget.
That's it for World in 5. Good day.